All right, assalamu alaikum. So this is Brother Yahya. So this is a this is like just a short video about the decomposition lab or the decomposers lab. So we've been doing this lab, or we started this lab on Wednesday, about decomposers. How different things like bread and orange peels and different things like that turn back into the soil or turn back into the nutrients, so that nutrients in the ecosystem can be recycled. So there were just a few like technical problems, or there was like one technical problem. So I just want to explain what was going on. So in here, right, this is called the decomposition lab. So if you click on it, right, you get like a PowerPoint, and then if you go to Google Slides, then the students are supposed to complete these questions over here. Anything in red basically, right? They're supposed to complete. Now there's two sets of slides. You see all of these are in green. So these are the ones that were supposed to be done on Wednesday in class, and I said due at the end of the day on Wednesday. The ones that are blue, these are due next Wednesday after 1 week, right? Because you have to let the decomposition go on for about 1 week. So the problem was something in the way that I had set up the PowerPoint is that every time they clicked on what they thought was their PowerPoint, it basically generated a new PowerPoint. And so students were filling out the answers, but then when they clicked on it again, they would get like a new PowerPoint without any of their answers. So they thought all of their answers were lost. So that's actually not the case. So I just want to show you like if you can help your student to find the lab that they did, because I noticed in pretty much all the ones that are attached here, most of them are blank. So I think all the students, they thought they were filling in the answers, but what's attached here is basically blank, right? So here's what I want you guys to do, right? So if you can go to your Google Drive and then search this up, Decomposers Lab, right? So these are some of the ones that some of the students shared with me, but when you put this in, probably what's going to happen is you're going to find not just one, right? There should have been just one copy, but there's probably going to be at least 2 or 3 copies of the lab, right? I think for most of the students, right? Maybe your student only has one. But basically, if you can look through, if you can open all of them and find out which one of those actually has the saved answers that the students worked on in the class, right? So, if you search this up, right, Decomposers Lab, then it should have usually like their name in the front and then Decomposers Lab. And then, so if you have 2 or 3 copies, if you can search through and find out which one actually has the answers, and then if you could share, they can either upload it over here, or what's better, just to make sure there's no problems, is when you're in that lab, if you could click the share button and then put in my email address. All right. So, so let me just show you. Now another thing. All right. So now someone was asking me about, there's 2 of these, right? It says classwork, decomposition lab, and homework project, decomposers lab. So these are the same thing, right? Now here's what's going on, right? So in the classwork, you see all the green ones, right? They were supposed to do these and then turn them in here, but then of course we had that little problem. So all the green ones, once they finish the green ones, then they're supposed to go ahead and submit it in the classwork section. Now, next week when they finish, then they submit it over here in the homework project, right? Because in the homework project, then they're gonna have completed all of the blue slides, right? So see all these blue slides down here, right? So all of these blue slides, they should complete by next Wednesday. So let me tell you a little bit about how this one works. So the idea is that we're putting something into a plastic bag, putting just like a little bit of soil, a little bit of water, and then putting it outside in a warm area, right? Make sure it's outside, not inside, right? Because obviously we don't want to make a mess inside. So put in a warm area outside, and then of course, as we know, it's gonna rot and decompose and start to break apart. And so just to kind of show that everything kind of goes back, all living things are going to go back into the soil, right? So this is the procedure over here. It tells you to put it outside, all right, and they have to answer these questions and find a couple pictures and examples of decomposers, all right? Now, on day 0, which was Wednesday, right, they were supposed to take a picture and then put it over here, All right. And then now next Wednesday they'll take a picture, and it should probably should look a little bit changed, and they can put it over here, right? And they put in the results and so on, right? Now one more thing, the last one is something that I would like the parents to discuss with the students. So obviously everything goes back to Allah, right? In the Quran, Allah mentions the following, that from the earth we created you and we will return you to it. So all of these things that we study in science, right, are signs of Allah. So so how can this lesson help us understand the lesson that Allah is trying to teach us here? So there's many things, many ways that we could think about this. We could think about it in the way that all of us are humbled when we even like the most powerful creature, right? You see a tiger, human beings, everybody is eventually going to go down into the dirt, and even like the smallest of creatures, right, are going to turn his back into the dirt, right? So this is a lesson in humility. So different things like that. So that's kind of what I was going to discuss in the class with them. But of course, I'm always looking for additional insights if the parents have any other ideas or other insights. So the idea is also, so this is like kind of a discussion question. So I don't want the parents to write this answer, but I want the parents and children to discuss, what's going on, what is the lesson, and then write down what you think. And so if you have any other unique ideas, anything different, I'm always looking for that so that we can share it in the class. So anyways, that's it. So the main points are, so there's two different assignments, right? There's two different assignments. Classwork is when they finish the green, they can go and upload it. Next week, when they finish all the blue, then they should upload it here, all right? And second of all, a lot, if you can ask for the students, they need to search Decomposers Lab in their drive and find out which one of their PowerPoint or Google Slide files actually has, their answers. All right. So Jazakallahu khairan. Let me know if you have any questions.